Dear spectators of the human tragedy. Silence. A mere absence of sound, yet it is the mightiest weapon in the hands of the guilty. It wraps around them like a thick fog, smothering the cries of those they've wronged. Oh, how they revel in it, those who think they can escape the weight of their deeds. But let me tell you, silence is no refuge, it is a prison of the mind. It reverberates with the echoes of unspoken truths, drowning out the desperate pleas for justice. Imagine, for a moment, a room filled with shadows. The air is thick, charged with unuttered words, each one a dagger aimed at the heart of the silent. It's in that stillness that torment festers, growing like a cancer. The guilty may smile, wearing their masks of indifference, but inside, they are haunted by the ghosts of their actions. Every moment of silence becomes a relentless reminder of their sins. They cannot escape it, it chases them into the darkest corners of their minds, gnawing at their sanity. The weight of unspoken words can crush a soul. Picture a child's cry falling silent, a plea for help swallowed by apathy. The silence that follows isn't peace, it's an abyss. It whispers of guilt, a constant reminder of what was lost, of lives shattered by betrayal. Each unacknowledged scream loops in their head, a haunting melody that plays on repeat. While the world outside moves on, they are trapped in a cacophony of their own making, drowning in the symphony of regret. They think silence shields them, but in truth, it amplifies their torment. It transforms tranquility into a living nightmare, a specter that looms over their every thought. The more they try to bury their shame, the louder it becomes. Silence becomes the echo of their regret, bouncing off the walls of their consciousness, a relentless reminder of the pain they've caused. They may wear their pride like armor, but it is nothing more than a fragile facade, easily shattered by the weight of their own conscience. And what of the power they wield? It blinds them, makes them believe they are untouchable. But power, my dear listeners, is a double-edged sword. It corrupts, yes, but it also isolates. When one chooses to remain silent in the face of wrongdoing, they are left alone with their demons. They may command armies or hold dominion over empires, but in the end, they are but prisoners of their own making, shackled to the very silence they embraced. As the darkness seeps in, they may find strength in solitude, but it is a hollow strength that feeds on despair. They may convince themselves that silence is their ally, but it is, instead, a relentless foe, whispering truths that cut deeper than any blade. They are left to confront their own shadows, to dance with the phantoms of their past, while the world continues to spin, indifferent to their suffering. Justice is a slow beast, and time, the ultimate arbiter. It reveals truths hidden beneath layers of silence, peeling back the facade to expose the raw, bleeding wounds. Each tick of the clock serves as a reminder that no act goes unnoticed, no silence remains unbroken forever. The guilty may hide in the shadows, but time will eventually drag them into the light, forcing them to face the consequences of their silence. So, let this be a warning: silence is a choice, a decision to turn away from the truth. It may seem easier, even comforting, but know that it will echo louder than any scream. And in that echo, you will find the relentless pursuit of justice, a reckoning that no one can escape. Embrace the darkness if you must, but remember, it is a darkness that will demand to be faced. Ah, betrayal. A word so light, yet it carries the weight of mountains upon the shoulders of those who know it well. It creeps into our lives, wearing the face of trust, only to plunge a dagger deep into the heart. It is the whisper of a loved one turned enemy, the shadow of a friend who revels in your downfall. Each betrayal is a story, a tale of shattered dreams and broken bonds, turning once vibrant connections into mere ashes beneath our feet. I recall a moment, one that sears itself into my memory like a brand. It was a day like any other, the sun shining, laughter echoing through the air. Yet, behind the smiles lay a darkness, a festering wound disguised as friendship. A betrayal, so sweetly wrapped in a bow of camaraderie, caught me off guard. The knife was buried deep, twisting with every word spoken in false loyalty. In that instant, I understood the true meaning of silence, the silence that followed the revelation, a silence so profound it swallowed the very air around me. The consequences of betrayal are not mere ripples, they are tidal waves that crash upon the shores of our lives. What once was a tranquil sea of trust becomes a storm of chaos. The aftermath is a landscape littered with the debris of shattered hearts and broken promises. Those who have tasted betrayal know the bitter aftertaste it leaves behind, a constant reminder of the fragility of connection. The echoes of that moment, that piercing silence, haunt the corridors of my mind, a relentless reminder of what was lost. Emotional scars run deeper than any blade could cut. They weave themselves into the fabric of our being, a tapestry of pain and regret. Each betrayal leaves a mark, a reminder that trust is a delicate thread, easily frayed. I carry these scars, not as weaknesses, but as badges of survival. They are my testament to the darkness I have faced, the nightmares I have endured. Yet, in this darkness, I find a twisted sense of strength. Betrayal has a way of stripping away the illusions we cling to. It forces us to confront the truth of our existence, to face the monsters lurking in the shadows. We become architects of our own redemption, building strength from the ruins of our shattered relationships. And while the scars may remain, they become a part of our story, a reminder of the battles we have fought and the victories earned. But let us not forget, those who betray are often blinded by their own desires. They wield power like a weapon, believing they are untouchable. Yet, power is a fragile thing, easily lost in the tides of consequence. In their arrogance, they forget that every action has repercussions, that every moment of silence in the face of wrongdoing breeds a storm of justice. Time, relentless and indifferent, holds the ultimate authority. It unveils the truth, peeling back the layers of deceit to reveal the raw, bleeding heart beneath. A betrayal may seem victorious in the moment, but the clock ticks on, and with each passing second, the weight of guilt grows heavier. The silence that once shielded them becomes their prison, a cage built of their own making. And so, I stand here, a reflection of the darkness that surrounds us all. I urge you to look within, to confront the betrayals you have faced and those you have inflicted upon others. The echoes of those moments will linger, but they can also guide you. Embrace the shadows, for they hold the keys to your strength. Recognize the power of your choices, for they shape the world around you. In the end, betrayal weaves a complex tapestry of pain and strength, a reminder of the darkness we must confront. Each scar tells a story, each silence a lesson learned. And as we navigate this treacherous path, remember that every betrayal carries with it the seeds of justice, waiting for the right moment to bloom. Power. A shimmering illusion that dances on the edges of our fingertips, tempting us to grasp it, to wield it like a sword in the dark. Yet, as the shadows deepen, we often forget that power is a double-edged blade, capable of cutting both ways. In our relentless pursuit, we become blinded, not by the brilliance of our conquests, but by the darkness that festers in the silence of our hearts. It is in this silence that the true nature of power reveals itself. A force that can corrupt the purest of souls, twisting noble intentions into vile ambitions. I have seen it, oh yes, I have walked that path. The thrill of dominance, the intoxicating rush of control, all while the whispers of the damned echo in the background, a grim reminder of the cost of our choices. Each silence, each moment of hesitation, becomes a step deeper into the abyss, where accountability is lost in the shadows. Pride, that insidious beast, breeds a fortress around our hearts. It erects walls so high that no voice of reason can penetrate, leaving us isolated atop our thrones of arrogance. In our refusal to acknowledge our wrongs, we become prisoners of our own making. The very power we sought to command morphs into chains that bind us, constricting our souls tighter with every unspoken truth. We wear our pride like armor, believing it protects us, but in reality, it is our greatest vulnerability. And as we bask in our self-made solitude, we fail to see the world crumbling around us. The silence, once a comfort, becomes an unbearable weight, a heavy shroud that suffocates the light. It is a false sanctuary, a mirage that fades as the echoes of our actions reverberate in the void. We become ghosts in our own lives, wandering the desolate landscapes of our minds, haunted by the choices we've made and the voices we've silenced. The solitude that follows power's embrace is a cruel companion. It whispers sweet nothings in our ears while gnawing at the edges of our sanity. In this quietude, we confront our demons, the ones we thought we had vanquished. They rise from the ashes of our pride, clawing their way back into our consciousness, demanding recognition. The silence, once a shield, transforms into a mirror, reflecting the darkest quarters of our souls, forcing us to confront the truth we have long evaded. But do not mistake this darkness for weakness. No, it is here, in the depths of despair, that we discover our true selves. There is strength in acknowledging our flaws, in embracing the very shadows we feared. Like a seed buried in the earth, we find resilience in our struggles, nurturing the growth that comes from facing the dark. The power we once sought outside ourselves begins to bloom within, transforming our pain into a fierce light that cuts through the fog of silence. We stand at a crossroads, my friends. We can choose to let pride and power consume us, to revel in the silence that breeds our undoing. Or we can confront it, face the haunting echoes of our past, and emerge stronger, wiser. The journey is fraught with peril, but it is also laden with opportunity. Each scar, each moment of silence, is a testament to our strength, a reminder that we are not defined by our betrayals but by how we rise from them. In the end, remember this: power is a fragile thing, easily lost in the tides of consequence. The echoes of our choices will resonate long after the silence falls. Embrace the darkness, for it will teach you what it means to truly live. Only then can you wield your power wisely, transforming your solitude into a force that uplifts rather than destroys. Silence. It is a living thing, a predator that stalks the shadows of our minds. It wraps around us like a thick fog, obscuring our vision and suffocating the cries of the wounded. Within its embrace, we find ourselves lost, trapped in a labyrinth of our own making. The absence of sound is not merely a void, it becomes an echo chamber for our regrets and fears, amplifying the very nightmares we wish to forget. Each heartbeat resonates louder, a drumroll heralding the arrival of the ghosts we have ignored, the screams we have silenced. In that stillness, the haunting silence unveils itself as an entity, a specter that lingers just out of sight. It watches as we wander through our days, a constant reminder of the shadows we cast. The weight of unspoken words presses down like a heavy cloak, constricting our breath and stifling our thoughts. It whispers the truths we dare not confront, chipping away at the walls we've built to shield ourselves from accountability. The silence becomes a living nightmare, a punishment for our failures, echoing louder than the cries of those we have wronged. Regret, my old friend, is a relentless beast that feeds on silence. It thrives in the dark corners of our conscience, waiting patiently for the moment we are alone, unguarded, and vulnerable. And in those moments, it bursts forth, filling the void with memories of choices made and paths not taken. It is a cruel irony that the very silence we sought for comfort becomes a breeding ground for our deepest sorrows. We become ensnared in a web of our own making, where every thread is woven from the fabric of our past transgressions. The echoes of regret are inescapable, reverberating through the chambers of our hearts, reminding us of the pain we have inflicted. Each moment of silence is a reminder, a ghostly whisper that taunts us with the faces of those we have betrayed. It haunts our dreams, morphing into a twisted reflection of our desires, a desire for redemption, for recognition, for a chance to rewrite the script of our lives. Yet, the silence endures, a steadfast jailer refusing to let us go. In this silence, we are forced to confront our own realities. It is a harsh mirror, reflecting the darkness that lies within. The truths we avoid come crashing down, and we are left with the undeniable weight of our choices. The silence is not just the absence of sound, it is the manifestation of all we refuse to acknowledge. It wraps around our souls, tightening its grip until we can barely breathe. We are left with nothing but our own thoughts, and those thoughts are often our worst enemies. But herein lies the paradox. within this darkness, there is strength to be found. It is in the deepest shadows that we unearth the resilience we never knew we possessed. The silence, once a tormentor, transforms into a crucible, forging our resolve in the fires of introspection. We learn to embrace the darkness, to let it seep into our very bones, molding us into something stronger, something more aware. It teaches us that pain can be a catalyst for change, that isolation can lead to self-discovery. In the end, the silence may be an inescapable reality, but it does not define us. It is a canvas on which we can paint our truths, a space where we can confront our demons, acknowledge our failures, and rise anew. We can reclaim the power that silence once held over us, transforming it from a prison into a sanctuary of self-reflection. And as we learn to navigate this haunting landscape, we discover that the echoes of our past do not have to bind us. They can propel us forward into a future where we wield our power with wisdom and grace. So let the silence resonate, let it echo through the corridors of your mind. For in that haunting stillness, you may find the strength to confront your own darkness, to emerge not as a victim of your choices, but as a warrior forged by the fires of your own heart. Embrace the nightmare, for it is within that nightmare that you will find the truth that sets you free. In the shadows where light dares not tread, there lies a peculiar strength, a resilience born of darkness. Embracing the void is not merely a surrender to despair, it is the awakening of a ferocity that lies dormant within. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes of its own destruction, we learn to dance with the darkness, to let it cradle us in its cold embrace. It is here, in this abyss of solitude, that we uncover the raw power that fuels our existence. The darkness, often seen as a curse, becomes a sanctuary where we confront the truths we've buried beneath layers of bravado and pride. It strips away the pretense, exposing the raw flesh of our vulnerabilities. In solitude, we find clarity. Each heartbeat echoes in the stillness, reminding us of the choices that led us here. We are not victims of our circumstances, we are the architects of our own suffering. And yet, from this pain, we draw strength. Adversity carves us into something formidable. The scars we bear are not marks of shame but badges of survival. They tell tales of battles fought in silence, of wars waged within the confines of our minds. Each wound is a testament to the trials we have endured, a reminder that we are still standing amidst the rubble of our past. The isolation that once felt like a prison becomes a crucible, forging our resolve and sharpening our focus. It is in these moments of introspection that we learn to harness our fury, transforming it into a weapon against those who would seek to silence us. Revenge, often painted as a vile pursuit, can be a reclamation of power. It is the fire that ignites our souls, a catalyst that propels us forward. In the stillness, we plot, we plan, and we prepare to reclaim what was taken from us. The very silence that once tormented us now fuels our desire for justice. It whispers sweet promises of retribution, tempting us to rise from the ashes of our despair and strike back at the heart of those who have wronged us. But let us not be mistaken, revenge is not merely about inflicting pain, it is about restoring balance in a world that revels in chaos. It is about making those who have silenced us taste the bitterness of their own actions. In this dance of shadows, we become the puppeteers, pulling the strings of fate and weaving a tapestry of consequence. Through the darkness, we find our voices, and with every step we take toward our reckoning, we grow stronger. As time stretches, the weight of our choices becomes palpable. Each moment lost to silence intensifies our resolve. We are no longer mere echoes in the void, we become the storm that shatters the stillness. The darkness breeds clarity, illuminating the path to our liberation. We learn that our suffering is not in vain, it is the forge that shapes us into warriors of our own destiny. In this realm of shadows, we realize that we are not alone. The darkness binds us to others who have suffered in silence, those who have tasted the bitter fruit of betrayal. Together, we rise from the depths, united in our shared pain and fury. It is a symphony of vengeance, a chorus of hearts beating as one, echoing through the void with a relentless cry for justice. So, let the darkness envelop you. Embrace it, for it is within this shadowy embrace that you will discover the true strength that lies dormant in your soul. The silence you once feared becomes a powerful ally, a tool for transformation. And as you navigate this haunting landscape, remember, from the depths of despair, the fiercest warriors emerge, ready to reclaim their power and rewrite their stories. Let the night be your canvas, and paint it with the colors of resilience and vengeance. In the relentless march of time, every second becomes a chisel, carving truths from the stone of our existence. Silence, once a refuge, morphs into a harbinger of justice. It is a slow, torturous process, akin to watching the tide recede, revealing the debris of the past, pieces of our shattered selves laid bare for all to see. In this stark exposure, we find an inevitable revelation. Time does not simply pass, it unveils the masquerade, stripping away the layers of deceit and pretense. As the clock ticks, the consequences of our silence loom like shadows, stretching across the landscape of our choices. Each moment we chose to remain voiceless adds weight to the burden we carry. Regret, once a whisper, evolves into a roar, echoing in the caverns of our minds. It gnaws at our sanity, relentless and unyielding, reminding us of the moments we stood by as the world crumbled around us. The absence of accountability becomes a slow burn, an ember that ignites the fires of our inner turmoil. Justice, though often elusive, is the relentless tide that rises to meet us. Time is the ultimate equalizer, and it does not discriminate. It brings forth the truth, peeling back the layers of our actions and their repercussions. Those who believe they can escape the weight of their choices are destined to face the reckoning. Like a spider weaving its web, time ensnares even the most cutting of souls, binding them in a tapestry of their own making. The longer we allow silence to reign, the more tangled we become in the threads of our inaction. So, reflect on your choices, for every silence has a cost. When you choose to turn a blind eye, you become complicit in the suffering of others. The echoes of those unspoken words haunt the corridors of your mind, a constant reminder of the power you relinquished. The darkness that once felt like a shield now reveals itself as a prison, confining you to the very regrets you sought to escape. In this reflection, we must confront the demons that linger in the corners of our consciousness. The nightmares we create through silence are not mere phantoms, they are the manifestations of our cowardice. Each moment we allow fear to silence our voices, we contribute to a cycle that perpetuates suffering. The weight of our unspoken truths becomes an anchor, dragging us deeper into the abyss of our own making. Yet, in this haunting reality, there lies a glimmer of hope. The realization of our complicity can be the spark that ignites change. It is within the darkest corners of our existence that we can unearth the strength to confront our past. Acknowledge the silence that has echoed louder than screams, for in that acknowledgement lies the power to transform. Time, in its relentless march, offers us an opportunity for redemption. It is not too late to break the chains of our silence. Each day presents a choice, to remain shackled by our past or to rise and confront the shadows that linger. The path to justice may be fraught with pain, but it is also paved with resilience and reclamation. As you stand at this crossroads, remember that the journey toward accountability is as much about confronting the past as it is about forging the future. The echoes of regret may haunt you, but they can also guide you. Let them serve as reminders that silence is not your ally, it is a thief, robbing you of peace and purpose. Embrace the truth that time will always reveal. Allow it to be your ally, your weapon against the darkness. The shadows may loom large, but they are not impenetrable. With each step you take toward acknowledging your past, you strip away the power that silence once held over you. And in that reclamation, you will find not only justice but also the strength to rise, unburdened and unafraid. The darkness that once surrounded you becomes the soil from which your newfound power will grow. So, stand tall in the face of your choices. Let time be the architect of your redemption, and may your voice, once silenced, rise from the ashes of regret, echoing through the corridors of your existence with the strength of 1,000 storms. In the stillness of this moment, I invite you to peer into the abyss of your own heart. What do you see? a flicker of light, or perhaps shadows swirling like a tempest. Our lives are canvases painted with silence, and within those hushed strokes lies a darkness that births nightmares. We are not merely the architects of our own destinies, we are also the silent witnesses to the suffering we sometimes choose to ignore. The audience, you are a mirror, reflecting the choices that define you. Can you hear the echoes of your own silence? Each moment you chose to remain quiet, to stand idly by as the world fell apart, is a ghost whispering tales of complicity. We are all complicit in the stories we refuse to tell, in the truths we bury beneath layers of pride and fear. The nightmares we create for others are built on the foundation of our own inaction, and they linger, festering like an untreated wound. Consider the bonds we break through our silence. Each unvoiced truth, each withheld apology, is a dagger thrust into the hearts of those we claim to care for. Those moments of betrayal may seem small, fleeting, but they grow into monsters that stalk the corridors of our minds. They claw at our sanity, reminding us of the warmth we chose to extinguish with our cold indifference. And let's not forget the dual nature of silence. It can cradle us in comfort, offering a momentary escape from the chaos of the world. But when does that refuge become a prison? When does the silence we cherish turn into a suffocating weight? It is in this paradox that we find a chilling truth: silence, when abused, breeds a solitude so profound that it can drown the strongest of souls. You think you are safe in your quietude? Think again. The solitude you embrace may nurture your ego, but it also isolates you, cutting you off from the very humanity you seek to protect. It's a facade, a brittle shell that can shatter at any moment, exposing the raw vulnerability beneath. In that shattering, you may find yourself face to face with the demons you've long avoided, the shame, the regret, the haunting reminders of what could have been. Yet, in this darkness, there lies an opportunity for awakening. The nightmares we create can also serve as catalysts for change. When we confront our personal demons, we find the strength to reclaim our voices. It is not merely about acknowledging the pain we've caused, it is about dismantling the silence that has shielded us from the truth. Look around you. The shadows that flicker at the edges of your consciousness are not enemies, they are teachers. They beckon you to learn, to grow, to rise above the chains of your own making. As you navigate through this landscape of regret and realization, remember that each choice carries weight. Each silence can either bind you or liberate you. The power lies in your hands to shift the narrative, to transform your silence from a weapon of oppression into a shield of resilience. Embrace the discomfort that accompanies this journey. It is a sign that you are alive, that you are willing to confront the truths that demand to be heard. The nightmares you've woven may seem insurmountable, but I assure you, they are not. With every step you take toward acknowledgement and accountability, you begin to unravel the threads of your own silence. You turn the darkness into a forge, crafting strength from anguish and light from despair. So, I urge you, do not shy away from your own reflection. Embrace it, for in that embrace lies the path to redemption. Let the echoes of your past guide you, not as chains but as wings. Rise from the ashes of your silence, and let your voice resonate through the void. Each word you speak, each truth you unveil, is a step toward reclaiming your power. The darkness that once enveloped you becomes the soil from which your liberation will bloom. Stand tall in the face of your choices, for they define not just who you are, but who you can become. Silence may have been your darkest nightmare, echoing louder than screams, but it is also the canvas upon which you can paint a new reality. The journey begins now. Share this message if you believe that true power rises from the ashes of our darkest moments. Leave a comment about the shadows you faced and how they forged you into something greater. Subscribe for more raw reflections that challenge the status quo and ignite the fire within. Embrace the chaos, for it is in the struggle that we uncover our true selves. Remember, the darkness isn't our enemy, it's the crucible of our transformation. Stand up, speak out, and let your voice shatter the silence. The world needs your story,